Hey, 8th grade. So today we're actually going to be prepping for your constructive response tomorrow. We're going to be working with the literary analysis task, which we've done in the past, but haven't put too much focus on yet this year. So kind of going to get you set up for that so that tomorrow when you do your actual writing, you've had a lot of prep time and you're really clear on what you're writing. To start off, we're going to do a couple of guided notes on point of view. Our writing prompt that you're going to be working on tomorrow is how does Junior's point of view create humor in the novel? Identify at least 2 strategies the author uses to develop Junior's perspective. Include evidence to support your analysis. So our keywords here are point of view, humor, and then strategies. Because today we're really going to be focusing on those strategies that authors use. Since we've already really built a lot of our knowledge about Junior's point of view or perspective, we can actually underline that one too. Those are synonyms, point of view and perspective, which means they mean the same thing. So today we're going to be focusing on the strategies that authors use so that we can really fully analyze this and answer the prompt. So here are some strategies. Authors develop stories through characters. Point of view shows who the narrator or character is, how they feel, and what they think. So we know that our point of view is going to give us insight into our character, everything about them, from their opinions on things, their feelings, their emotions, their relationships with others. Point of view is a really important skill to understand in order to understand a story. We also already know Junior is a humorous narrator. He's funny. He develops his point of view through a couple of different strategies that we're going to be focused on today. The first is actions and reactions. This is what Junior does and how he responds to conflict in the novel. Conflicts, as we know, are any type of problems. They can be anything from a physical conflict to emotional conflict, an inner conflict. But Junior has a lot of really funny responses to things that we might think of as really negative experiences. The second is inner dialogue, and we've practiced this a lot, and Junior has a ton of inner dialogue. Inner dialogue is the conversation that occurs inside of Junior's head, the thoughts that give insight into his character. So what he thinks about and his inner conversation. There's also structure and text features. This is a big one in Absolutely True Diary because of the amount of illustrations that Junior uses. This can mean the way that the story is organized, the titles of our chapters, which are usually pretty funny, the drawings that Junior does, the font that he uses. Sometimes he puts things in capitals and italics, and other sort of text features we've talked about in writing class. The tone, which is Junior's attitude in the story, his word choice and his voice. So basically the tone just tells us what attitude does he have towards what's going on. Who is he as a character, and how does he portray that through his voice, through the words that he chooses. Our last strategy is dialogue. That's just conversations between characters. We know that. We've practiced dialogue a ton. Oftentimes we see the funny parts of Junior through how he talks to other people, whether that's Rowdy or Penelope or even his teachers. It's not only inner dialogue that's being used to show humor, it's also his actual dialogue with other people. So just one more time, our writing prompt is how does Junior's point of view create humor in the novel? Identify 2 strategies the author uses to develop Junior's perspective and include evidence. So we've just identified 5 strategies that Alexi uses when he develops Junior's point of view as humorous. We're going to really be looking for what are the 2 strongest strategies, or what strategies do you want to use to prove that Junior's humorous. When we're writing, it's really important for us to understand what our paragraphs need to contain and why they are so important. So I'm just going to do a quick review of that. Introduction paragraphs. They tell the reader what you're analyzing. What is this prompt answering? What is the point of the essay that you're writing? As well as where your information comes from. What's the novel's title? What's the name of the author? Oftentimes, what's the name of the protagonist or the narrator? It also sets the structure and organization of an essay. So what that means is a solid introduction paragraph sets your reader up to understand your essay better. It makes them know what you're writing about, so as they read forward, they know where you're trying to go and whether or not you achieve that. Your body paragraphs are really the heart of your essay. They analyze the text to answer the prompt. They always include text evidence, and that evidence always needs to be explained. So this is where the meat of your analysis is, and they're really important. And oftentimes we have 2, 3, or sometimes even 4 body paragraphs to really fully answer a prompt. The last paragraph is your conclusion paragraph. Your conclusion paragraph should summarize your ideas, give an overall, what was it that you analyzed in this paragraph? What was it that you were trying to achieve by writing this essay? We're going to skip this section right now, which is our outline for our essay tomorrow, and you're going to do that with me when you get up front. So we're going to jump right in to our objective and task for our chapter Reindeer Games. Our objective is to analyze how Junior's point of view is developed to create humor. So not only identifying where it's humorous, but how is the author developing that? What strategies from our list of 5 is the author using? So we're going to underline lines that show Junior's humorous point of view, and then use the stop and jots to identify those strategies. We can refer back to that list as much as needed. Chapter title is Reindeer Games. I almost didn't try out for the Reardon basketball team. I just figured I wasn't going to be good enough to even make the C squad, and I didn't want to get cut from the team. I didn't think I could live through that humiliation, but my dad changed my mind. Do you know about the first time I met your mother? He asked. You're both from the res, I said, so it was on the res. Big duh. I'm going to underline that right there. That's kind of a funny way he's responding to his dad, the word choices that he's using. But I only moved to this res when I was 5 years old. So your mother is 8 years older than me. And there's a partridge in the pear tree. Get to the point, Dad. I'm going to underline that as well. It's kind of a funny interaction between him and his dad. He's sort of making fun of his dad here. Your mother was 13 and I was 5 when we first met. And guess how we met? How? She helped me get a drink from a water fountain. Well, that just seems sort of gross, I said. I'm going to underline that as well. Again, he's kind of making fun of his dad a little bit. Like, where's the story going? What's the point? I was tiny, Dad said, and she boosted me up so I could get a drink. And imagine all these years later and we're married and have 2 kids. What does this have to do with basketball? You have to dream big to get big. That's pretty dang optimistic for you, Dad. Now underline that as well. Well, you know, your mother helped me get a drink from the water fountain last night, if you know what I mean. And all I could say to my father was, ew. That's one more thing that people don't know about Indians. We love to talk dirty. Anyway, I signed up for basketball. So this conversation between Junior and his dad is showing how Junior's humorous in the way that he responds to his dad. I'm going to pick this last one. All I could say to my father was ew as the evidence that I'm going to use for the line that shows that Junior's point of view is humorous. I'm picking that line because I think it really gives a good insight into Junior's voice, the way that he talks, the way that he sounds, the way that he responds to his dad when his dad's kind of giving him this information he doesn't really want to hear. And it gives me good insight into who Junior is as a character and what he thinks and how his relationship is with his dad. For this, our strategy, if I refer back up to my list, between actions, reactions, inner dialogue, structure, tone, and dialogue, I'm going to go with reactions, the way that he's reacting to his father, as well as dialogue, because this is a conversation between Junior and his father. So for my strategies, I'm going to write Alexi uses Junior's reactions and the dialogue between Junior and his father. So as you're moving forward, go ahead and get started annotating the text for more places where it's humorous and answering how is Alexi developing that humor through Junior's point of view.